So we're off to a really great start. We're gonna go ahead and do some code wars. I love starting our day off with some code wars, some algorithms, and then we're gonna get into some programs and figure stuff out as we keep going along. Okay, just make sure my screen is on full blast. Okay, so let's go ahead and train on this one. So we start at level 8. We're gonna do some 7s and do some 6. Part of the regular program here. Okay, so what's going to happen here? So when provided with a letter, return its position in the alphabet. So our input is going to be A, our output is position of alphabet 1. So not only lowercase English letters are tested. Okay, so the way this would work, okay, so we're going to receive lowercase letter because it matters whether or not the letter is lowercase or uppercase. So now that we know for sure, we're only dealing with lowercase. So we're going to return the position of the alphabet. So we have example of A is going to be 1. So then I would expect B to be 2 because in the alphabet A, B, and B is right next to 1A. So we're going to add 1 and should equal to a total of 2. So the way I think about doing this, right now brute force on top of my head, the way that I think about doing it is to go ahead and, what's the word? It'll not illustrate, but I would go ahead and write out the entire alphabet in a string, and then we're gonna find the index position in this string. So, and then we're going to return the index position plus 1. Because in the string and in the interval list, the positions are always 0 index base. So we need to add plus 1. As you can see, A would have originally been 0, but the fact that it comes out as 1, it tells me to add 1 to it. So we are going to say alphabet is equal to A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And we're going to return. We're going to do it into an F string. Return position of. F string position of alphabet is equal to alphabet of letter plus 1. Okay, so this is saying, as you can see in our return output, it's going to be a string that we're going to return back, and we need to return back this the sayings right here, these phrasal words, the position of alphabet, and then we need to return this index. So we need this part right here to be dynamic. So I am going to say we're going to look for the letter of A. A is right here, and then since it's the string index of starts at 0 index, we're going to add 1, so we can get A to return 1. Alphabet letter string indices must be integers, not string. String indices must be integers. Must be integers, not a string. Okay, alphabet of letter. Print alphabet of letter. I thought this would have returned back the index position. String indices must be integers, not string. So that tells me I probably have to make it into a string. Let me alphabet 1 equals to A, and then B, and then C. Alphabet 1 letter. this index must be integers, not a string. You're gonna return me the index position. Okay. Alphabet indices. Find index in string. Find index position in a string. Python. That's right, you can use dot index. Alphabet dot index. Find position of alphabet dot index of the letter, and you're gonna add +1 to it. So position of alphabet 25 should equal to position of 26. Position of, oh, I probably forgot a letter, and that's why it's Z is giving back 25. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, X, Y, Z. I'm trying to think, like, is there a way I can go ahead and optimize on this? When I think about like finding the index position, that index will give me directly to the letter of it instead of doing a for loop, because a for loop will give me O of, I have to look it through every letter, so that will give me O of an operation, versus doing a dot index, I believe that would give me a O of 1. Dot index Python time complexity. It should be O of 1 because we're going directly straight there. Oh, just kidding. This page documents the time complexity. It is actually O of n. Okay, so either or, the for loop or dot index of would have worked for here. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Where is algorithms? Add it in alphabet. Push. Can't I do? Python to return index. Python interprets letter as an attempt to use a variable or a thing. I see. Oh, I see, mighty. Let's go ahead and read the other solutions, because I always love reading people's code to see what else did. This is if you understand the dot word of it. This will take a lot longer to write, for sure. I don't know if you want to go ahead and write all of this out. This would be a lot to write out. Dot find the alphabet +1. I know, you could definitely do a dot find. Wow, a lot of these, they use an ORed alphabet. What is ORed alphabet? What is ORed of alphabet in Python? It is the Unicode of it is a modern encoding standard. Order A is 97, but how do I go from 97 but you still have to subtract it from the 96, which is the A. I think I'll stick with the dot index for now. I think that's something I can remember by and talk about instead of the ORed function. Index a C. I see this person added an extra space to make sure that it be an index of 1 every time. Okay, that is interesting. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a 7. Oops. Factorial. Ooh, this will be fun. This gives me like Fibonacci vibes. Let's do this. Okay, so in mathematics, the factorial of a non-negative integer n denoted by n is the product of all the positive integers less than or equal to n. So everything for 5 to the factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So by convention, the value of 0 is 1. So write a function to calculate a factorial for a given input. Okay, so my mind is thinking a lot. I'm thinking about like a for loop. I'm thinking about using recursion. Okay, but we're going to break it all down into one simple step first. Okay, let's talk about our input. So we're going to receive an integer. We're going to return a string. So we're going to return a string that states the factorial and the total for the factorial. So if we have factorial of 1, that'd be 1 times 1, 1 times 0, but since 0, the factorial of 0 is 1, it'd be 1 times 0, but then 1 times that is actually a 1, so ultimately this is 1 times 1, which is a 1. We have another one of 3 factorial. This one is 3 times 2 times 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6 itself. Okay. So then that makes me think, okay, let's go ahead and initialize a total 2 0 2 0. We're going to initialize the total to 0, and we're going to say that for the in edge case is the 0, which is if n equals 0, we're going to return a 1. Else what we're going to do is we're going to do a factorial. We're going to loop traverse through or iterate up to n, and then we're gonna add each, or not add, but multiply each number. Then we're gonna return the total. If n is equal to 0, we're gonna return a factorial. Factorial for 0 is 1. But otherwise, we're gonna say total is set to a 0, 1 right now. Let's do a 1. Because the way for num in range of 1 through in range of num plus 1 in range of n, we're going to say total times equal, because the reason why I do want to set total to 0 is because if you multiply anything by 0, it's going to be 0. So but if you multiply it by 1, it will be that number. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 1. So total times equal num. Now we're going to return the total. So this is saying that we're going to start out at 1, and we're going to keep adding or multiplying that product number by the next number until we reach that n. So should equal 1. Okay, so sorry about that. I thought it wanted a string back, but okay, it only wanted an integer back. It wanted this sum back. Okay, but this is what the way I think about it doing a for loop. There's nothing wrong with it doing a for loop like this. Time wise is all of n, because we have to go iterate up to n. We have to iterate up to n amount and add each total number. Space wise, since we're returning back a total, it's going to be a constant of 1. That's what I'm going to stick with. Feel free to let me know if you have other ideas as well, but this is what I'm going to stick with. So, because we're only returning back in a total number, and that total number is constant, so we're not making up any extra memory, not taking up any space in memory with like key value pair dictionary or list or anything that would keep expanding. So I'm gonna stick with O1 for space. So let me know. Feel free to let me know what you think too as well. But another way that I was thinking about this, I think time and space wise will still be the same. But the only thing different will be like using the call stack. So the way I think about this, we're gonna test myself in recursion. But I definitely want to get a lot better with recursion, and I think this is like a great start. So the way to do recursion, you gotta think about two cases. Base case is when we want to go ahead and exit the loop. Once it hits these numbers, we're gonna exit the loop. So exit calling the function. So when I think about it, then if the num reaches 0, it's 1, 1. Or if the num reaches 1, it is 1. But that means, because you see how like in this problem right here, I was using total. I think I will have to go ahead and pass in a total up here. And I'm going to say that the recursive case is when I want to keep calling the function. So for so if I have a number 5 and I have a total, then I want it to keep going down. So decrement n down by 1, and then add to the total. So the way I think about this, let me make sure my indentation is good, just in case. If n is equal to 0, we're going to return 1. But if n is equal to 1, then we're going to return 1. Otherwise, we're going to keep calling the function return factorial of n minus 1. So we're going to keep decrementing down until it hits a 1 or a 0. That's when we want to go ahead and exit. So we're going to do it n minus, and then, but the total here times equal, total times equal num. So I want to keep multiplying that number, but I don't think that's the right way to do it. I'm trying to think about like Fibonacci, and if I look at the I'm trying to think like, trying to recall Fibonacci in my head, because I've seen it before, where it is f of, if I think about fib, I'm taking fib n minus 1 plus the factorial of n minus 2. And I'm trying to think. I mean, you can, with the Fibonacci, you can definitely like, memorize the information. But I knew that total wouldn't work, but I thought I could try. Factorial. So I can't do that. Total times equal n. I wanted to keep adding the number. Do I do it outside? Do I do it outside of this code right here? To factorial, return the factorial of n minus 1. Let's see. N minus 1. Feel free to let me know too what your thoughts are as well. I feel like I am almost there. It's just this part right here. I feel like I wanted to keep adding to total. I have to think how I did it before. Times equal. Okay, maybe I have to do it outside. Maybe I have to do it here. that as we keep going, otherwise total times equal n. Otherwise, we're going to keep calling it, and we're going to keep adding to the total and carry it on to the next one. Okay, no, I hate that. Oh, because the reason why it wouldn't like that is because I messed it up with this, so it messed up the cases. So the total, we start with 1, our total, so our total here has to be the exact number. Okay, so 1 should equal to 2 and 1 should equal to 6. Okay. Okay, so that's not right. It's not going the right way. Okay, let me look this up. Factorial recursion Python. No, stop. Okay, so it was fine. Okay, so I need to redo everything here. It was just me. I don't even need to add a total. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say n minus 1. Otherwise, it's. I thought I would use default parameters. Because feel free to let me know what your thoughts are as well. Because I thought it would make sense to put in total for the default parameters. Because you want to use that and you want to keep track of the total, the new total that keeps reoccurring. Let me know what your thoughts are, because that's what I was definitely thinking as well. I mean, I looked it up here quickly, but I would love to know what your other thoughts and inputs are as well. I felt like I could have used the default parameter. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. I wonder why I couldn't use a parameter, the default parameter, because I think about doing like recursion with like linked list and how to reverse it. If you reverse a linked list, you have to pass in the head in the next, and you're gonna pass in the next, or sorry, not next. You're gonna pass in the previous as a default parameter, but you're gonna set that previous to null. But yeah, please let me know if that makes sense. I can definitely show you the example that I'm thinking in my head, because I'm thinking that's why I was going to pass in that total as a default parameter. I'm just going to drink some water quickly. I see what you're saying. Okay, because you're right. Let me just copy it. You're right. Because the total, I'm going to set it to 1. And the reason why I'm going to set it to 1 is because when I did my for loop here, when you multiply against 0, it's going to be 0. So we're going to go ahead and start off as 1 here. And then we're going to do factorial of n minus 1, because we're going to keep going down until it hits one of our base case of n equals 1 or n equals 0. And then, since we pass in that default parameter right here, total is equal to 1, then we're going to say that n minus 1 right here, and then we're going to fill in our total. So the total right here, I wanted to be accumulative. Of the n. So times equal, well, you couldn't do times equal n here. I think it will get mad. So I have to update my test cases to involve I have to add in my test cases. I have to update my test cases, and now that I added in that total, So 0, I expect this total to equal 1, total is equal to 1, our total right here is equal to 2, 3, this one is going to be equal to 6 as well. So our total is times equals n. Invalid syntax. Okay, so it doesn't like me multiplying. Total, that's right, because what we did before is it was outside of the function itself. 1 should equal to 2. Okay, so let me think about it. So, okay, if I pass in 3, if 3 is equal to 0, which it doesn't, so it's going to move on. If 3 is equal to 1, which it doesn't, it's going to move on. So we're going to skip all of this. Now we find 3, and then we're going to say that 3 times equal, I would expect it total to be this times 1. 1 is our total right now, because that's what we pass in for our default value. Oh, I shouldn't? I thought, because I thought but by default parameter, if the user doesn't pass in anything, we know that total will always equal to 1. So I see 6. So right now, our 1 right here is times equal 3. So right now, I would expect a total to equal 3. So then we're going to keep calling it, and we're going to subtract. So 2, it should be a factorial on 2 with a total of 3. Because we are passing in what our total right now of 3 should be in it. So let me know if my train of thoughts make sense, and if because this is what I envisioned for it. Because n should have been 3, total is equal to 1. So n is total is equal to 1. N doesn't equal 3, n doesn't equal 3. We're going to move on. Let me print total. In your second if, you should return total, not 1. Oh, because it hit. Oh. Wait, didn't I? Because you see how right here. Okay. Because yes, now it makes sense. Because I was like, wait a second. When I print out total, it is saying 6 and it's saying 2, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense because it's giving me the right total right now, and it's getting I kept seeing that 1 coming back. I see. Because in my head, if you pass in 1 automatically, you're gonna return total. Which also makes sense because total is already equal to 1. So between this and this is probably a lot cleaner because you don't need to store that total variable. And you can just return whatever this amount is. What are your thoughts? Like, is there one way that's cleaner than the other code? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's talk about some good time and space complexity. Time-wise, it'll still be O of n for O of n for every element or every number we have to visit up to n. Space-wise, when I think about space-wise with recursion, I think about the call stack. Something to consider is with the call stack. I I'm trying to envision like the tree. When you think about Fibonacci, I don't know if you ever seen it before. Like the fib of 4 we'll call fib of 3, 2, and 1, but and also like the fib of 5 we'll also call. So I'm thinking, that's what I'm picturing in my head right now. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't. I can definitely explain. But when I think about that, I think the call stack here, the space will definitely increase from what we had before because of the call stack. So I'm gonna say it's O of N. It's because it's holding a lot of the calls. Let me know if you guys think differently as well. But I'm gonna say O of N for the function call stack. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. And get it. Added recursion. No. Maximum recursion call. Okay. Okay. So you don't like -5, but I think -5 should have a number regardless, and it should have been a negative number. So this one. Is it because of my total? I want to see something here. No, I think. Okay. It should throw an error. So if you want me to throw an error, I need to add that value exception case error. But I just want to make sure if I do the for loop, I just want to see if the input is below 0 or above 12, you have to throw an exception. You're right. That is my fault. So in Python, it is a value error or return -1. Okay, so if you are, we're gonna go based off of what we had with the recursion call. So write a function to calculate factorial. If the input is below 0 or above 12, if the way I think about adding it to my code right now is I'm gonna do it as like a base case. And when I think about not base case, an edge case, I'm gonna add if n is below 0 or n is greater than or above 12. So we're gonna say 11. I guess we can say greater than or equal to 12. That's above 12. If you are above 12, then it's inclusive of 12. Then we're gonna say that we're gonna return a value exception error, value error. I don't think that's how you write value errors in Python. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Value error. Okay. So more precisely, as an index error, type errors raised. How to write. So we're gonna raise a value error. Raise value error. This is an invalid error. Oops. Yeah, that's my fault. So thank you for so much for your help on that, Team Master. So teamwork. So yes, okay. So we're gonna raise the value error. So I feel comfortable with this code. We're gonna submit and let's read other people's code. Raise, get push. Okay, so they did the same. If n is less than 0 or n is greater than 12, raise value error. Return 1 if n is less than or equal to 1. You could have definitely done it into a ternary. Oh, thank you so much, Team Meister. I couldn't have done it without you. So, great job to the both of us for getting it done. So, oh, I should have thought about simplifying mine into a ternary as well. Because I could have said here, okay, sorry, not looking here. Because, so we have our base, or so we have this if function here, but we could have said return 1 if n is less than or equal to 1. Else, we're going to keep, then again, we have a total as a default parameter. So you couldn't do it as a ternary option. Unless after, okay, so say this part doesn't exist. Say this part doesn't exist. Then we could have done total times equal n, and then we could have said else. Factorial of n minus 1 of total. I just want to, like, let's do that one more time. I think we can definitely do it. Total. We're going to make it a default parameter, and we're going to pass it of 1. And then we're going to say that if n is less than 0 or n is greater than 12, we're going to raise a value error. This is invalid number. Remember, see how the more that I rewrite my code, the more I remember it. See, it's not a return, it's a raise value error. Then we're going to return 1 if n is less than or equal to 1, else we're going to say factorial of n minus 1 in total. But total here, oops, we want it inside. Okay, and then we're going to say total times equal n. This should work. Okay, so this one, it's like what we were doing before. That if n is equal to, we're gonna, okay, so n will, okay, because if n equals 1, then we're gonna return 1. That's why the 1 is getting overwritten right here. So we need to say return 1 if n is equal to 0, else return if n is equal to 0, else. Oh, okay, so we're gonna return total yeah, it was the one that kept getting overwritten, but we're gonna say that return total if n is greater than 1, else factorial. But then that means I need to write my other edge cases saying that if it's 0, then we had return 1, otherwise wait, so we're gonna return total if n is greater than 1, else n minus 1 is greater than 0. Okay, I'm trying to figure out why it stopped at 3 and it didn't go all the way to 6. There is, if n is less than 0, if n is less than 0 or n is greater than 12, we're going to raise this value error. So if n is equal to 0, by default it is 1. By convention, the value of 0 factorial is 1. Total times equal n. Okay, so let's walk through it because I want to understand why it stopped. Why did 3 stop at 3? Why didn't we go all the way? I think we didn't go all the way is because n is greater than 0. If n less than 1, less than or equal to 1, this is definitely a little cleaner than what I previously. Oh no, oops, I didn't mean to start a Python. Okay, let's do a 6 though. No, not regular expressions. I'm not a big fan of regular expressions, but I do want to get good at it. I've heard it's been super beneficial and it's actually really good to learn, and it's not that hard. That's what I've heard. So let's figure this out. Okay. So complete the solution so that it splits the strings into two pairs of splits the strings into pairs of 2 characters. If the string contains an odd number of characters, then it should replace the missing second character of the pair with an underscore. Okay, so we're gonna save a string. It looks like, okay, so we're gonna receive a string of lowercase characters. Then we need to return a list of 2 characters in a string. So if I have hello, I anticipate this to be HELL because it's always going to be in 2 pairs. So it's always going to be in 2 pairs, HE and an LL, and then we have an O, which is an odd number by itself, but since we need to make sure it's even, we're going to create that empty space for it. So okay, so it says that it was tagged as a regular expression. So I'm thinking I'm gonna use a regular expression, but I'm gonna try to see if I can do it without a regular expression first. The way I think about this is sort of like a sliding window. We're gonna initialize an empty list. We're gonna iterate through string. We're gonna cut the chunk into 2 pieces. So we're gonna initialize an empty list. We're gonna iterate through the string with 2 pointers, and then one pointer will go ahead and move. One pointer will go ahead and move to two characters. One pointer moves to. So essentially, we're capturing a window of 2 characters added to the list. If character at the end is odd, add a afterwards. Ooh, that's a lot, huh? Then we return the list. So this is what I'm thinking for my pseudocode. And so feel free to let me know if you have different thoughts and ideas about it. So we're gonna say output is equal for char and s. We're gonna the way I want to set up my sliding window is with a left and a right. Left and a right. Left is equal to 0, right is equal to 0, while right is still less than the length of s. I might be making it harder on myself. Let's see. Feel free. I might be making it harder on myself. Let me know what your thoughts are. But we're gonna say that the left and right, so the windows in them start both at the first index. There's the first star, the first letter. And we're gonna say s of right is equal to char. S of right is equal to right char. Right char is equal to s of right. Ooh. But that means, okay, but the thing is that what I also need to do is I need to initialize an empty string to pair string, and we're going to set this to that. So right now, so we have right, and now we're going to say the pair string plus equal right char. And then while right, this window, right minus left, plus 1 is greater than 2. So now that we reach our window is greater than 2, we're going to go ahead and stop it there and then capture this screenshot right now, add it to our output. I'm going to try. So now we're going to do this. Okay, so otherwise, I never move right, by the way. Right plus equal 1. So it's gonna keep adding and keep going, and then it'll stop adding. So this one should be at AB right now, and then it's gonna say, hey, oh my goodness, your window is greater than 2. Your window is greater than 2. So you need to stop output dot append our pair string, and now left char is equal to s of left. Where our left window is, we're going to say left minus equal or plus equals 1. So now we're going to scoot it up. Well, actually, we're not going to add it by 1. I want it to meet where right is because we don't want to add the same amount of letters. Right is equal to left is equal to where right is. Because I just want to make sure I am envisioning this correctly. Print output. Ooh. That is ugly. That is not where I was planning to go. Okay, so print AS. Print AS. Yes, that's perfect. And then my second one. So my right kept going until the total of 2, but my left never moved. It's because it's still capturing AS. So my left pointer never moved. Right plus equals 1. So while our right minus left plus 1. So we're going to print out left and right pointers. Where are my left and right pointers hanging out? 0 and 2. This one went to 2 and 4. 0 and 2. This one went to 2. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, okay, so we're gonna append. Okay, so I know what it is. Okay, so we're gonna append it here, and now left char is gonna move. Left is equal to right, and afterwards, we have to clear our strings again. So otherwise, that's why AS kept hanging on, but we want to clear it. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot to say that if you're an odd one, we need to add you as well, and a Okay, I'm just trying to think it out. So if the length, maybe I'll say like, if the length is 1, if the length is 1, then we'll add it. That's what I was thinking. But maybe not. Wait, let me grab some water. Okay. So I am gonna say if the length of pair string is equal to 1, then we're gonna say the output dot append. We're gonna say the pair string plus equal this. Output dot append the pair string. Ew. No. That's not what I want. Do I do it during the while then? Maybe I should do an else claimer with it, but that's what I will do if while. Can I do an if? And then this one I'll do an else. If length of pair. Yeah, no, it's not that either. Okay. I am gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do a while. But since it's regular expressions, that's what I was thinking. So since I am kind of crunching time a little bit, then I'm gonna not finish this like this, but I'm gonna do regular expressions. I'm gonna want to regular expression in Python with pair of strings. Okay, so we're gonna import RE matches 2 words. I don't think we're gonna match 2 words. Apple, banana, cherry, and date. You found a pair. No. Fun and dumb. So we're gonna how to match any string from a list. Okay, so we're not trying to match. We are trying to regular expression Python regular expression Python to split strings into pairs of 2 characters. The art of all of this is how you Google it too as well. Because the way when I was saying it is I was like, find me a pair, but then that's not exactly the right thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for to split into strings of 2 pairs. It finds all non-overlapping matches of pattern the 2. Okay, so you have to import the regular expression library. Yes. And then we're gonna say that you're gonna return find all of r dash by 2 spots on the input string. Okay, S is the input string. Okay, so we're almost there. What? Okay, so regular expression to match one or more non-word characters. Rejects. Rejects. Rejects? Rejects? How do you say it? Okay, so R-2, I'm gonna say, hey, you're gonna split into 2. How do I say regex Python if string is odd number, add with it in a list? Part of string matches, any use regex duplicates. Regex. So feel free to let me know what your thoughts are here too as well. I hope I'm saying it. Temester. I'm horrible. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. And I'm sorry I'm butchering your name. So usernames are a little bit I'll get there. Be patient with me, please. But yeah. R dash find all, R dash, I think is here. We're gonna split it by 2, yes. Okay, so let me figure this part out. Oh, no worries. Neither am I, but I heard it's really beneficial to learn. So here I am. So we're gonna try to learn it. So yeah, okay. So this is regular expression. So R-2, it matches any character except the new line. This is a quantifier of how much you want it to match. So dot. Handling odd length. If the input has an odd length of number of characters, the last character will not form a complete and will be excluded. So the last character needs to be included. A different approach or more complex would be required for strictly pairs of 2 characters. This is okay, so this is not let me look this up. Okay. Split characters for odd length of string. So A, B, C, D, I'll check in advance. So S is I could have definitely done it like this, but I want to really use regex. S dot, using regular expression. So you're going to find all 1 to 2, and you're going to say S plus at the end. Are we going to do S plus right here? Is that what you're saying? S plus right here. Because I'm almost thinking I should do something like this. because you can see how this is an odd length right here. So it's gonna find all r dot 1 and 2, odd or even. We're gonna pass into s array dot all. No. Okay. S plus this. Stop. That's it. Because based off the yeah, because here it's gonna say S right here is a string you're gonna pass in. So I didn't anticipate to go ahead and, but let's go ahead and attempt it. Oh, I see. Killing the game here. Killing the game here. Whoops. Okay. But I love reading other people's code, so let's figure this out, what the other people said. Okay, so what they did is they initialized an empty list, and we're going to say that if the length is odd, then you're going to add the s plus equal at the end. So if the length is odd, you're going to add an extra the underscore at the end of the end of the list of the string. You could definitely do it like that. And then you just iterate up to the length, and you're gonna increment by 2. I think I was definitely overthinking this. And you're gonna do a result append, and you can slice it. Oh, I see. I love to do this again. I want to. Okay, so based off of what I know, I'm just gonna go based off like what I just read right there. What I remember, and we'll see if I remember anything. Because I want to go ahead and try to replicate this. If I can like active recall and replicate it again, that means like it's kind of sort of solidify. I want it in the back of my head. So it checked. So basically, it was saying that it checked if the length of s mod 2. It was checking to see it was odd, and if mod 2 is true. If it's mod 2, so meaning that if it's odd, we're going to add the plus equal s plus this for the end of it. And then here, we're going to say that, what did it say? It said that we're going to do a for loop in range starting at the index of 0. We're going to go all the way through until the end of the string, and we're going to increment by 2 points. And we're going to say they did initialize a list, and they did say that output dot append s of I plus s of I through I plus 2. So it's going to go ahead and just grab 2, and then it's going to return the output. Right? Did I remember that correctly? Yes. Okay. Because they initialize an empty array, and it's looking to see if it's odd. And if it's odd, let's go ahead and add this to the end of it. And then we're going to say that for I in range, yes. And now we're going to append s of I through I plus 2. With regex, I have no idea what the time complexity is. So we're just doing based on what I think in top of my head of what's happening under the hood. Because my solution was to find all. And when I think about finding all, you're still iterating through each character. So I'm going to still say that it's OFN time operation. this part right here, for sure the for loop is doing all event operation, but my concern is with the slicing. The slicing, I think it should still be okay. And okay, as in like it's not. I thought it's gonna be O of n squared, but I believe if you cut out just that part, if you do slicing like that, it's gonna be O of n operation. So feel free to let me know if it's a different time and space complexity than you anticipate it was. I love to know as well. Let me know. So yeah. But I definitely really want to show that's me though. But okay, so let me just fix up some small stuff here. Then save nail to the output path. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and show you. Yeah, this is just my debugging. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys with this AI agent that I was working on. I love to upload like YouTube thumbnails. As you can see, like I'll upload all of these streams that I do here, and I'll upload it to YouTube. And with YouTube, the main thing to get attractions from customers is your thumbnails. How are you going to get someone to click on your video to be able to watch you? So I wanted really appealing thumbnails, and I just somehow missed art. Sorry. But I just somehow missed the art genetics in my family. I just don't know why. It's just decided to skip me. So I have no art thumb whatsoever to go ahead and create it. So what I'm going to have done here is I created this to help me generate a YouTube thumbnails so that I can go ahead and use it for my YouTube as well. Okay, so what I did is, so we're going to go ahead and use it from, I just want to make sure I get all my touch points correctly. So it runs on OpenAI DALL-E 3, as you can see here, for the images. And it also uses image and text. So text here, it's going to go ahead and use the movie Pie. You can see right here, it's going to go ahead and use it from the movie Pie for the text. And it's going to do some Python here work to make the AI agent work here. So okay, let me walk you through it. So first and foremost, what's happening here is, so we're gonna use OpenAI. So we have to go ahead and get the API key from OpenAI. Cannot and will not share with you, but it's in my .env file, as you can see. But it's in my .env file, which is in my .git.org. So you will, if you ever fork this, you will have to create your own API key for that. But just to let you know. But otherwise, most of it is all set up basically. So it's going to use your OpenAI key, and then so I have a function here that's going to go ahead and generate the thumbnail. So I have some prints, so it lets you know what's happening between each steps of what's going on. And so what's going to happen here is that we're going to say that in our prompt we have a YouTube thumbnail about this video title, and we want this to have a lot of high quality and colors, and we want it to look a very specific size. So after it's done doing that, it's gonna go ahead and spit out and say, hey, I'm done spitting out, getting an image ready from you. So we're gonna go ahead and print out this image, and with this image we're gonna go ahead and write over it. And so we're gonna say, so you get some exception as well. Hi, Elder. No, only for $500 today you can get the API key. Only for $500. Happy Friday, by the way. So okay, and then now we have another function that is going to add the text to the image. So now that we have the image path and the video title, you can go ahead and grab the image. Here's our text that we wanted to go ahead and do. It's going to go ahead and save it and get all situated. So the way to run this file is you'll just do the Python thumbnail. Let's go ahead and call the file, and we're going to enter our video title. So our video title could probably be to like today. I'll wait for the Venmo to hit first, then we can talk about it, Elder. So our title for our video title, so say for instance today we're working on algos and AI agents. So maybe I'll do like Python AI agents making a YouTube, or say making YouTube thumbnail with Python AI agents. So as you can see, you have all your prints starting happening. So it lets the user know, hey, what's happening? Like, what am I waiting for? I don't know what's going on. But you can see right here, it's starting to hang out. Wait a second. Oops. Oh, I'm so sad. Y'all missed out the best part because, okay, maybe I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So, my thing wasn't going on. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. My thumbnail. Okay, so for this one right here, we're gonna say, what's the word? Making YouTube thumbnail with AI agents in Python. Here's our video title. As you can see, the print is starting to go, and so it lets the user know, hey, what's happening? What am I waiting for? And as you can see, right now it's starting a dolly request. I want to work with AI agents. I want to start out kind of small and something easy that I can do and that you can do too as well. So all you need to do is just, if you want to go ahead and use it, feel free. You have to just change your API key. That's all. But yeah, I would love for you guys to go ahead and check it out. As you can see, it will go ahead and generate a new one. That is pretty cool. So you can see your YouTube thumbnail with AI agents. I probably have to work with like the sizing a little bit, but you can see right here that it does come up with like, it does come up that's pretty cool, but it does come up with some thumbnails and that gets ready for you. But yeah, so if you ever want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's on my GitHub, so it's all generated in Python. So yes, just using OpenAI, so super simple code, super easy to make, and something that can generate something quick for you. So yeah, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. But I do have a new episode of Love Island to check out, so we're gonna check that out and we're gonna get with it. So hope you guys have the rest of your Friday. Let's go ahead and hang out soon. Have a good one. Let's talk soon.